So big news from the weekend. Major L taker, major loss of the weekend. Anyone who keeps their money in a bank.
Rookie
Those
move.
Absolute fools. Folks, if you keep your wealth in anything other than a series of ingeniously devised dead drops and treasure hunts, then you fucked up. Actually, you didn't fuck up because all these assholes just got their money.
Yeah, they're all getting it back.
Valley.
Yeah,
they're all getting all that money back from the Silicon Valley Bank. But yeah,
I gotta
Valley Bank.
Tip of the cap to the Silicon Valley guys, because this thing happens. Silicon Valley Bank has a run, basically because these idiots are all online together and they spooked one another in group chats. And so they're all taking the money out. And Peter Thiel, first among them, salute to the king. Somebody pointed out to me, and my mind was blown, that his name literally is the reptile. It is an anagram for the reptile.
That was a resist lib.
And it's like, shit, man, you are blowing my mind here.
Yeah,
dude. It's all out in the open. They use secret signals and letters to communicate with each other. So Peter Thiel, the reptile. I mean, it's like Charles Dickens wrote him or something. Could a man
Seriously.
look more like a fucking reptile?
It's uncanny. He drinks blood of the youth. Come on.
Allegedly.
Getting too on the nose. The simulation is breaking down, would say the dickheads who invest in Silicon Valley Bank. And so you'd think when this happens, oh, they're fucked, because this is the least sympathetic group of people you could imagine, because the conservatives hate them because they consider Silicon Valley the woke Death Star, and the libs hate them because they're a bunch of rich guys, just classic class resentment that's going to cut against any of these things. They're in trouble. So what do? They spend the weekend tweeting themselves into a ladder and freaking everybody out, or trying to spook horses to literally like trigger a bank
they were
run.
trying to make a bank run on the rest of the banking system by saying that, like, if they're all doing like the Jimmy Stewart from It's a Wonderful Life, and they're like, you're thinking about this all wrong. The money's not in the safe. The money's in your app, Shitter, the app that collects data from your shit. It comes from Plonk, the app that replaced teachers with AI. If you take money out of the dick measuring app, then they'll all go away.
Yeah, I saw some guys who are like, I'm talking to a lot of founders who are deciding to take their money out of banks entirely. And it made me think, like, and put it like where? Like PayPal?
Under a mattress.
Krugerrands, like in Lethal Weapon 2.
Yeah.
And
like
they did it. They got it.
Yeah.
Not only did they get what they wanted, they're getting all the money back, but they actually did get one bank to
Signature Bank in New York.
Apparently a lawyer's bank that did a lot of crypto stuff.
It was a crypto bank of which Barney Frank got like $1 million to sit on the board of the New York crypto bank and lobby to exempt that bank from the Dodd-Frank banking regulations. Balance sheets protruding, look disgusting.
we love having a government, don't we, folks? We love it.
But no, in 2018, Trump passed it, like gutted it, like changed the regulatory framework for specifically like banks like this, Silicon Valley Bank, which they tried to, and then all the tweets about it, like that I've been seeing, they're trying to pass it off like they're like, we're just a local community bank, we're a merchant bank, we're a credit union, basically, that apparently 65% of all tech startups had their money in this bank. And the weird thing with this bank is it's sort of like a money market or something, like to deposit your money in or take a loan from this bank, you had to deposit your money in the bank as well. So that's why all these people were losing their minds. But
that's like not what a loan is. That's like you have to deposit your money.
Yeah,
like, collateral is one thing, but like I don't. Yeah, so
no, Silicon Valley Bank is a credit union like the Franklin Credit Union.
Yeah. The right wing Hydra has been like kind of fighting itself over this one because a lot of the teal aligned people who they hate the Fed, they hate Jerome Powell, they hate regulation. They obviously have been nakedly begging for a bailout and they got it. But I saw Kevin McCarthy and like sometimes you just gotta laugh. He said one of the funniest things I've ever seen. He said Silicon Valley Bank was actually known as one of the wokest banks out there.
That's in the Wall Street Journal today.
Yes, let me read the Wall Street Journal.
That's it. And if you're a right winger who hasn't been begging for a bailout for this bank, if you have no financial relationship with this bank, that's your line. That this bank was one of the wokest.
And then and then the right winger is like that guy David Sachs or like Joe Calacanis or whatever, who you have all their money and investments tied up in this bank, or a significant portion of them. Their line is, they're like, okay, imagine this bank wasn't a Silicon Valley bank, but a small business farmers bank. Bet you'd feel differently about it then.
Yeah.
I know, but okay, two things. The Wall Street Journal line. One, yeah, you're right. Like the bank run was caused by this bank being gay and cringe. But I've got news for them. All banks are gay. All banks.
It's true.
And so this is the line. This is the line from the Wall Street Journal editorial today. Was there regulatory failure? Perhaps. Silicon Valley Bank was regulated like a bank, but looked more like a money market fund. Then there's this. In its proxy statement, SVB notes that besides 91% of their board being independent and 45% women, they also have one black, one LGBTQ plus, and 2 veterans. I'm not saying 12 white men could have avoided this mess, but the company may have been distracted by diversity demands. Okay, I would just like to, most people just noted that, they have one black and one gay. 2 veterans for this fucking DEI shit? 2 veterans? That's your problem right there. Someone set off a firecracker, and then they were like, the bank's insolvent. Everyone take their money out.
The fact that whatever Wall Street Journal guy, I haven't really kept up with the new breed. My favorite Wall Street Journal writer was always John Fund. Because that
I love John Fund.
That is such a good name for Club for Growth style conservative. But I liked him including veterans among the
the stupid groups of, the stupid undeserving groups of losers who are polluting our financial system with their incompetence.
If anyone was bringing their dog to the board meeting and annoying everyone.
I love how we're supposed to pretend that the woke people, the anti-woke people in the media and in government are against one another, that they're not mutually reassuring one another, because they do this stuff. Silicon Valley Bank has their DEI bullshit and their fucking woke board specifically to camouflage their demonic activity. And now you have their enemies among the conservatives taking their bullshit seriously and validating it, so that everybody can talk about the fucking wokeness of the bank and not its fundamental practices.
I guess the other thing I've been really enjoying about this averted bank collapse, but it was funny when people thought that they weren't going to get bailed, the depositors weren't going to get made whole again. And by the way, these depositors are being made whole well past the FDIC limit on this, so they're making an exception for these assholes. But the other thing is all the people who are like, this is an extinction level event for innovation, period. And without these kinds of VC firms and banks like SVB, if this allows to go under, we won't have amazing new apps to talk to each other over Zoom. That's it. And my favorite one is in the effort to make this seem like this is all about these are about paychecks. These are about people who are need to make ends meet or whatever. It was this lady who's a former McKinsey consultant who said she described herself as my family drives a Honda Odyssey and my husband works in manufacturing. What she really meant is that her husband is a manager at this company that produces steel. And she's a former McKinsey consultant. But the best part is the company that she worked on is a subscription service where the highest level is $6,000 a year. And this is this is a tech startup app that will help you make lists and plan birthday parties.
Oh my god!
Wait a minute. Well, the $6,000. I'm assuming that one. They also complete the list for you.
It's a birthday party startup, and the name of the company. I'm just looking at this company right now. It's called Strong Suit. The pitch is, you found the perfect plan. Now what? And the Strong membership, Strong Bespoke is $5,899 a year, but Strong Suit Bespoke is just $600 a month. $600 a month.
Oh, okay. That's kind of a deal.
And they Ashley, our co-founder and COO, is the queen of themed kid birthday parties, and this is what they'll help you with. And it's just basically I don't know, it just creates to-do lists for you, I guess.
If you brought this shit into the Shark Tank, Mr. Wonderful would shoot you out of a cannon.
Well, that's why Silicon Valley Bank needs to exist, right? And like this was insane to me, like thinking like, why if I like as a business, as an individual entrepreneur or as a business, why the fuck would I deposit my money or seek a loan from this like fly by night fucking like a small community Silicon Valley Bank instead of, I don't know, Bank of America or Chase Manhattan? And the answer is that like the real banks that, like bad as they are, you know, like do the function of commercial banking, at least as we like try to conceive of it. But the thing is, they would never loan money to these fucking companies that will never turn a profit ever. So they need this fake bank to exist and give them all this fake money. And Felix, I was reading about like what caused this collapse, and it really just comes back down to what you've been saying for months now: is that everyone can be a genius billionaire when the Fed lowers interest rates, but as soon as they fucking raise it 1% or something like that, all of this shit falls apart immediately. And there's no way you can continue to like have this like limitless growth and get like be valued at hundreds of billions of dollars for your birthday party startup app that will never turn a single cent in profit.
Yeah, I mean, I think like we're going to see something like this probably at least once a month for the next,
it's just gonna be whack-a-mole.
Yeah, until the next like zero interest rate period. I think like zero interest rates are just like, it's just gonna have to be a permanent thing.
Yeah.
If we're going to have an economy.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't see any other way, because like 70% of the companies that exist, all of them borrow $50 billion a year. All of them lose money. All of them have 70,000 employees. Like, what are we doing here?
No, we've hit the end here. The profitability cannot be recovered anywhere in this economy. It's over. All you can do is keep the next quarter going by having an infinite inflow of cash that can allow for like frictionless transfer, and then to create through rapidity the illusion of an economy. Because everything else, it's done. There's no more marrow in the bones. There's no more juice to squeeze here. Like we've hit the end of productivity growth. We've hit the end of profitability in these sectors.
You make a profit if you're like ExxonMobil or JP Morgan, or like, I mean, honestly, some of the car companies, even American car companies, but like everything else just seems to like lose money, with, of course, the idea being that you have to keep loaning us money at zero interest rates and let us lose money until we can achieve 100% market share and then set prices on everything. But I just like, what is the economy even going to be if we don't have 0% interest rates? Because that's the only other thing. The only other thing besides like finance and petroleum are like app companies that give middle class people the experience of having servants that make these things way cheaper than they ever actually could be or should be, and can only exist by virtue of 0% interest rates.
And you know,
so like what else can there be?
The only alternative as an economy, as like a political economy, is massive public spending on infrastructure. Like that's the thing that's an economy. And like that is the thing that could generate economic activity and keep the wheels spinning.
Well, but and like all these
literally
Silicon
impossible.
But these Silicon Valley VCs like have not only are they not doing that, they're doing the exact opposite by basically profiting off our decaying infrastructure and not only doing nothing to replace it, but like actively degrading all of it, and trying to like where's the profit to be had? Turning jobs like taxi drivers into like precarious gig employers, like to try to zero out labor costs entirely. Like to just make labor costs like a zero line item expense on like any business's charts by replacing them with, I don't know, slaves or robots or robot slaves. I mean, like, and here's the thing. I don't think there's like, it's worth spending too much time belaboring the hypocrisy here, because hypocrisy is kind of the point about moral hazard and like, the rich get this carrot, the poor people get the stick. Obviously. That's the whole point. That's the whole point of like having wealth and power, is that like, you can get your checking account made whole again.
Which is why it's so annoying listening to them po-face and be like, oh, I'm a humble Honda Odyssey driver. I appreciate it much more if they were just like, look, you need us. We have you by the balls. This economy exists to serve us. If we pull this out, the political structure cannot absorb that, so they have to do what we want them to.
And the thing is, like, look, and like, you know, you can, like, no need to belabor the point too much about like these same people and their feelings about, let's say, student loan forgiveness, spending money on public infrastructure, social spending of any kind, and nor all of their accounts of, like, you know, we're really at a bad point when people are cheering seeing people's bank accounts get wiped out. Search any of these people and the phrase homeless and see how far their compassion fucking extends. But here's the thing. I can leave all of that aside and say, like, look, it's kind of like Mickey Mouse to bring this up to begin with. But what I truly can't abide is the way these people talk about the shit, the utterly fake jobs they do and the bullshit they create as somehow like not necessary to the economy, but like necessary to human flourishing and innovation. It's just like, we need like these people cannot even describe what their apps do to like a normal person, and they're like, if the last 20 years of this shit has not made the world a better place at all. It's like they ruin everything they touch. And then like their goddamn birthday party startup app, I have to hear from these people like they're Leonardo da Vinci or something.
Look, it's generated a lot of wealth. That's what matters.
Oh, yes, yeah.
It is generated for whom? At the expense of what? That's not for us to say. But you can't deny that there are giant, big, disgusting Scrooge McDuck piles of money sitting around in the Bay Area that didn't used to be there. And isn't that what we're all here for? To just make the piles bigger, to stack things up so that somebody gets to swim in them? Not any of us, of course. We don't get to swim in there.
I would love to have a Scrooge McDuck money pool.
Oh, my God. I'd break your neck immediately as soon as you try to jump in there because it's not water. What are you fucking doing? That's a cartoon. Don't do that.
And like, yeah, those gemstones are kind of sharp.
Oh, my God. Oh, you go knee first into one of those things? No, thank you.
I jumped in my money pool and now I have a ruby stuck in my asshole.
Yeah, they made a lot of money for a small number of people. And they, in turn, spent a lot of that money on hideous homes, awful food at pretentious restaurants.
Cars that the steering wheel falls off.
Cars with the steering wheel that flies off when you drive. Yes, that's what we all get. Oh, and also the other thing that got made, a incredible, breathtaking suite of surveillance and coercion technology that will be used against us for the rest of our lives.
Well, once again, I just have to say, like, you'd probably think differently about this bank collapse if the people we're affecting were good and not evil.
We're not.
So, like my feelings about this would indeed be different. But yeah, like, just make free money for nothing,
free money,
chicks
baby.
For free. Money for nothing, chicks for free.
It's only exceptions. There's no rule. That's all bullshit. And if push comes to shove, they will always bail them out. There's no real line. It's always there for show. It goes
That's
away
the way you do it.
That the sirens go off.
That's the way you do it. That little F slur, he plays the bongos on the CNBC.